Hi guys, so today I decided to make a video to kind of walk us through how to make our graphs in Google Sheets. Some of you have already done this. For some of us, this is going to be our first time today making these graphs. So a couple things first. Remember, you're going to be finding the two documents today for the dragster analysis and the graph making. Both of those will be found in Google Classroom. One will be a Google Sheet. And Google Sheets looks like this right here. It's just a green document. If you don't have that already downloaded, you want to make sure you get that from Google, from the self-service, or else the Google Sheet won't open properly. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click the copy that I made for you in Google Classrooms. It'll open up in Google Sheets like this. So this is what the graph will end up looking like when you're all done. But let me show you how to make a new graph or a graph for the first time if you haven't done this yet. And like I said, some of you have already done this. This will be a little bit of a refresher. But the first things first, you are going to click in the top left cell. So I clicked just right up here. When you do that, you'll see that there's these two blue kind of dots in the bottom right hand corner. That's just how you highlight and select things. So you're going to click the bottom right dot, and you're going to try to highlight everything. With all of the data highlighted that we're going to be using, we're going to click up here in the top right corner. We're going to click the plus sign. We are going to find the option and insert that says chart. Now, Google Sheets is pretty cool in the fact that it makes a chart for you based on your data, and it makes, usually it's pretty logical in the type of chart that it makes. So the first chart it's making is a column chart. We are going to change the column chart. So let me go back. We're going to change the type from a stacked column chart to just kind of the normal traditional bar graph that we're used to. Now we're going to click this little caret right here, and we're going to go back. We have some things missing on our graph. Now with any graph, we want to make sure that we follow Sultan. The beautiful thing about Google Sheets is it makes the scale for you, so that's something that we don't have to deal with. As long as you've put your data in correctly, the units will also work as well. Now there's a few things about this graph that I think could be improved upon. The first is the x-axis title. It just says group. So we're going to change that, and the way that you change that is by clicking titles right here. We are going to change the horizontal axis title, which will change that. So instead of group, we're just going to say group number, be a little more specific. We're going to update it. Then we're going to add a y-axis vertical title. You'll see right here that's something that's missing, and it's something that is crucial that we add it. So on the left axis, the type of data that we collected was time. We measure time, and we measure that in seconds. So parentheses, seconds. Close those parentheses, and close those parentheses. Then update the title. So now this is looking pretty good. We have a legend over here. The legend I don't think needs to be changed. That's a pretty good legend. But we are going to want to change the chart title. It just gives you kind of a standard chart title, design 1 time in seconds and design 2 time in seconds. So we're going to want to change that, and we're going to want to give it some relevant title that kind of not only does it talk about the lab that we did, but also the type of data that we collected. So we're going to change it to Dragster Lab. And then in parentheses, we'll add design 1 time versus design 2 time. We'll make sure that we update the title. And all of a sudden we have a pretty good title. I would actually maybe change that so I have a weird parentheses, added a space here. Let me just fix that real quick. Good, that looks much better. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to need to take a screenshot of this screen. So if you're here right now, you're in the perfect spot. Now, what becomes really weird with Google Sheets, and it's something I haven't quite figured out why this is yet, you can't actually make a copy of the data. So you have to take a screenshot, and we're going to take the screenshot that we make, we're going to crop it a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then we're going to insert that into our Google Doc that is also found in Google Classroom. So the way that we're going to screenshot this is we're going to click the home button and the power button at the same time. And by doing that, it's going to add it to our photos. So I'm going to do that right now. And you can be doing this with me, of course. So when you do that, you will create a screenshot down here. You're going to want to tap that. Uh-oh, mine just went away. So I'm going to need to find that in my photos. Here it is right here. And we're going to need to edit this, which is pretty easy to do. So we're going to edit. We're going to crop this. And if you managed to snag it before it went away, that's great. If not, you're going to click over here, and we're just going to crop this so we make it look just a little bit cleaner. Boom. And that looks pretty good. And then we're going to hit done up here in the top left corner. And now we have a pretty darn good chart and graph over here. So it's looking pretty nice. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go into our Google Docs. Now you're pulling this document once again from Google Classroom. So let me just get out of this real quick. So the worksheet itself is pretty basic looking. When you get here, you are going to want to make sure that you have it in the right view, and that right view should say print layout up here. It likes to, or Google Classroom likes to do this weird thing where, or Google Docs likes to do this weird thing where it gives you the iPad view, and it's really hard to work with. I'm sure you guys have all experienced this before. So we're going to click the plus sign. We're going to find the image from our photos that we've just cropped. We're going to click it. There we go, boom. I'm going to hit done. Now, it might be kind of big right now. And sometimes you got to go back, come back in to kind of fix it. Let's see. If not, if this is too much of a challenge, but you're going to want to try to make this smaller. Sometimes I struggle with this, especially anytime I want to show someone how to do this. It seems like this never wants to work for me. But if you can't make it smaller, it's really not a big deal. We do need to add a figure caption. So let's try to get this all on the same page if we can. There we go, one more. And so we're going to add a figure classroom. And like it says here, you are going to do that by following the instructions found in Google Classroom on how to do this. This is sort of one of your last things that you're going to have to do to be able to make this graph. One thing that is very easy to forget, make sure once you've done this, you hit turn in on Google Classroom. Because if you forget to do that, I can't tell that you've actually done the assignment. So you just have to make sure at the end you hit that. So that's pretty much all there is today. So yeah, thanks for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you.